weekly wine night discussion. I'm Jen. I have Jerry Joseph with me and KG. We're your hosts.
And I'll go ahead and take us into our wines tonight. For me tonight, I have 7 Deadly Cab. This one is actually from California. Jen is going with the Acrobat Rosé from Oregon, I believe, right?
Yeah.
Oregon. And then KG also has a California wine. It is 1,000 Stories. And this one is a cab as well, right?
Yeah.
Okay, cool. A
Yeah.
barrel aged cab. Bourbon barrel aged cab. Nice, nice. All right, well, our toast tonight will be coming from our friend Tanya. Tanya, what are we toasting to?
We are toasting to these 3 beautiful souls sitting in front of me, celebrating life, moments, inspiring and invigorating and pushing the fucking envelope. Oops.
What's that time?
Cheers, friends.
I'll cheers to that.
Cheers.
All right, who's going first on this?
Do you like yours?
I really like mine.
Oh, okay, cool.
Yeah. Jen picked out my wine tonight.
Yeah,
Thank
I
you,
did.
Jen. All of our wines. Thank you, Jen.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Very welcome.
So wait, why did you choose this one for me and for KG?
Okay, honestly, I chose the bottles more for the aesthetic of them. I mean, I think these are just really nice bottles.
They all look really good.
Yeah, they're like top shelf, you know. So this one I thought it was really cool because, 7 Deadly Cab. So this has like the 7 deadly sins on it. So I don't know, and I know you like Cabernet, so
Yes, I do. Can't deny that.
yeah. But this was a really neat bottle to me. I like the company. So and for him, I thought the same as well. His gives me like Western vibes. This gives me just like, you always say that you picture yourself in like a study, reading a book. That's what this wine, like just the aesthetic of it gives me that vibe.
Cool.
Yeah.
All right, excellent. Thank you again.
Yeah.
All right, so are we going to talk about your wine now?
Yeah, so my wine is a rosé. It's just, honestly, it's pretty dry for a rosé.
Oh, good.
Yeah, I think you might like it. It's it kind of tastes pretty close to like a Pinot Grigio. So, but it's good. It's
Oh yeah.
you know.
Try that.
I think that I would pair this with like some grilled chicken and a salad, maybe some fruit to go with it. Just like a good brunch type meal, some avocado.
Cool. All right.
Yeah.
What about you, KG? How you feeling about the wine she
It's
picked
pretty
out for
good.
you?
Yeah, it's good. It's good. Let me get one more in there real quick. Yeah. It's not too sweet. It's to be honest, it's more on the bitter side. Some strong notes of like almost raspberry punched in there. It's a little high on the tannin. Really bitter, you know what I mean? I could see me like if I'm chilling. This is like an edit wine for me, dude. Like it's not too sweet. It doesn't really. It's not. I wouldn't crave it, but it definitely is. It's gonna get the job done. You know what I mean? I give it maybe like about 3.5 to be honest. It's good.
Well,
it's not
that's better.
particularly- Yeah, it's yeah.
It's better than what you give most of your wines.
Yeah. Good job.
Yeah, thanks.
What about you, man?
This cab it's light in texture, but it feels kind of heavy as I drink it, which is very strange. But I'm really digging that. It's high in tannins, which I love. There's not a particular fruit again that really stands out, which is something else I really enjoy. I see this one as something this is a wine that I would drink if I was waking up early in the morning. I'm thinking like a cabin somewhere, and there's like some dew on the grass in the morning. That's where I picture myself drinking something like this. A little solitude in the morning kind of wine. But yeah, the flavor is really rich, and this is a really great wine. So good choice on that.
I can't wait to try it, man.
I can't wait for us to switch. I'm excited today.
Yeah.
I got a scenario for you guys. So you're given infinite resources. This is a hypothetical, but someone tells you construct your own city based on your own parameters, whatever you feel needs to be done. But You have complete reins to build a city from the ground up. Where do you start? Where do you take it? I'll let you lead off because it was your topic. So take it. Yeah, let us know what's up.
You know, if you really look at history of just about any country, any state, any city, it starts off small and they build upon it. They expand as they go along. There's not a lot of planning long term, and a lot of them you can't just start from scratch and build a city. But if I could, and I'm sure a lot of engineers will do the same thing. If they could start from the ground up, they would definitely build cities differently than the way we have them now. And for me, I think the biggest thing is, for my city, the most important thing would probably have to be mixed living. I love the concept and the idea of mixed living. And for those who, may not know exactly what that is, that's where you have buildings, like storefronts, restaurants, commercial buildings, and it's mixed in with living. Like this here is mixed living.
Okay.
There's several businesses downstairs, and then you have living quarters upstairs. If you live in Atlanta, Pond City Market is a perfect example.
Yeah, Atlantic Station.
Yeah,
I was actually going to say the same thing. I mean, that makes things so much more efficient. I actually stayed in Atlantic Station for like a year and a half, and I can tell you one of the things I miss about it most is being able to walk everywhere.
Yeah.
Walk to restaurants. I mean, there's something said about not having to get into your car and drive somewhere. And that's kind of the point of like a bigger city, is efficiency and being able to transport yourself from wherever you need to go without having to get in a car. In bigger cities, they have trains, they have buses. I mean, Atlanta does too. It's not as efficient.
Yeah, it's more of an afterthought in
Yeah.
Atlanta compared to other places.
Yeah, absolutely. So the mixed living is, it's just so convenient. And now it's hard for me to want to live somewhere where it's not mixed living, because once you get used to being able to walk to the grocery store and walk to the gym and walk to universally everything that you really need right there, you don't really want to go back to anything else. So
Efficiency, that's the main reason why I would choose it.
But I can see it from the other side of things. If there was somebody that wasn't as attracted to, I don't know, maybe the urban type of atmosphere is what, like, if it's more populated, there's some people who like relish in like actually being away from all of those things. That's why I find a certain appeal to your my dude, your, I guess, understanding of like the mixed living. It's like, to each his own kind of deal, but that's lit though. I give you saying it's far more efficient, but it's also more, what's the word I'm looking for? Well, not condensed, it's populated, but it's something that comes with that, the activity. You know what I mean? I think there's something to be said for being like truly just being away from everything.
That's going to be the future. The future is, more people living in major cities. According to the UN, 68% of all human beings are going to live in a major city by 2050. Like just the opportunities for employment and resources, activities, it can't be beat. So more people are flocking to cities than actually, having 30 acres out in the woods. And of course, there will always still be people who do that. And
that would be more of a retirement thing when we get to that point of like, okay, well now I don't have to be in the city. I'm gonna go live the rest of my life kind of away to myself type thing. Kind of like how people retire to the beach. People will want to retire to places where they're not so condensed in a populated city.
Okay, I get it.
yeah.
True.
But in the design of my city, for those people that want to live like that, I would put them in a circle around the city. You know what I mean? It just takes up too much space. Now, the main reason why I chose mixed living to be the number one priority in my city is that with mixed living, you have less of a need of parking lots. You have less of a need of roads. And now you can put even more stuff closer. It can be more efficient. So if you do need, a baseball field, but then you also need like a city park, and then you would also like to have, Six Flags or something like that. You can have more things in a closer area without feeling like it's on top of each other. There can still be space when you take out all the wasted space we use today.
Yeah, so what about you? What about your ideal city?
I didn't know how to quite answer this, or like I didn't know. I'm more of a whole thinker, not a part. So it's like as far as the infrastructure to actual city, I don't think in terms of that. I think of like how people live and what's good for everyone on a grand scale.
Mm-hmm.
So what I came up with is like this. It hasn't been fleshed out, but it's this pretty much this design where there's this huge circle, right, and the core of it. All right, actually, let me start with the exterior. So on your outer circle, it's pretty much it would be reserved for people that were more willing to be technologically advanced. The further more inside you go to the circle, the less and less technological it became. So it's like, so on the outside, it's pretty much live for like, it's more scientific. It's like live fast, you know what I mean? You go to that next layer on the inside, it's like, it's kind of like a medium. In fact, I even named mine. It might be something to this, actually. It was a theory. I was like maybe I can work something out. I don't know, dude, but it's the first, like, so it's infinity. That is technically, that would be the name of the outer rim. Infinity. And I say that because as long as what it means to be human, it's like always stretching, going forward. Technology would have no bounds in that realm. It's like it'd be based in like medical science, like everything always advancing. People would live. I wouldn't quite say a dystopia, but it's almost like it wouldn't be hindered by what's the word I'm looking for? I forget that. The furthermore you go inside, it becomes more and more about grace, which is literally that inner circle is grace. Don't laugh at me, because I became very imaginative with this.
How big is the city?
I mean, what are my parameters? Like,
I don't know. The way you're describing it sounds like it's much.
It would have to be
than my
huge?
city. Yeah.
Yeah.
My city's like a New York, Chicago, Atlanta kind of thing.
No, this is way
Yours
bigger.
Is like Texas.
But you know what? Maybe it would even set. Well, I wanted to be almost somewhat of a standard for what a city should be, because I wanted to encompass the extremes of literally humanity, bro. Like once you get into the core is grace. So you pretty much live on almost something that would resemble like a Garden of Eden type. It's like, it's agriculture. Everybody, there are no clothes, there are no technology, there's nothing.
Oh, I see what you're saying. Yeah.
Does that make sense?
Yeah.
It's infinity, and then there's life. That is the medium between it, and then it's grace. So I never thought about this. I put thought into this. So I was like, so as far as like even like lawmaking and everything, because that's one of the number one things. People there's diversity in our beliefs and everything. Capital punishment for doing something in the very core grace would be you get expelled from grace. You have to go out to life. Now life becomes more like, it's not as humble, it's not as peaceful, but it's still, capital punishment from life goes to infinity. If any law that you break in infinity is complete execution, it's capital punishment, you die. And I thought about it. No, here's the crazy part about that, because I was like, because that's the end of it all. And I'm starting to see like, that would be, and my idea is kind of perfect. Because if you can go from bang, 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 you don't deserve to be a part of what. So to answer your question, I guess, I don't know. I'm building my city based on something that all humans can coexist in a realm. Like, and I know that's kind of this. There's no actual like detail to it, but it's like if you understand the logic I'm coming from, basically.
I mean, I've thought about some of that for my city as well, but we'll get to that after we talk about Jen. How's your city?
So I didn't really think of my city based on like laws or too much in living. I thought about my city more in geographical and I guess in aesthetics as well. So for my city, I like a lot of the mixed living, but I also like high rises. I think high rises add a nice aesthetic to views, but so does water and nature. So I think a nice, really big river running through the city would be a part of my city with lots of skyscrapers. Nothing too big, not a New York City type city, but more of like a Miami or Chicago, but with the art and the soul and the music of New Orleans. So I think that my city comes more from just ideas and things that I've enjoyed from my trips in other cities around the U.S.
Facts.
But definitely a lot of art and music and festival and food. Food is a big one for me. And Most people that know me know that New Orleans is one of my favorite cities for that reason, because of all the art, the music, but the food is like, I think New Orleans is what, like one of the top 5 food capitals of the world.
I think so, yeah.
Yeah, I mean, and when I say the food there, I mean, we used to go there for a weekend just to eat food. I mean, the food is insane. So I think that food, festival, art would be a major part of my city.
That's really cool. I didn't think about the music and the art, but I did think the green space. You know,
Yeah.
mixing my city with nature. You know, you guys already know. I'm really big into like the metropolis. You know, big major cities. That's where I feel the most comfortable. So skyscrapers, stuff like that. That was kind of a given for me. But yeah, mixing it with nature and, you know, bringing as much green into the city as I could was also going to be one of my top priorities. So for me, it went the efficiency of having mixed living, bringing everyone closer, bringing everything closer. Green space, clean energy was going to be another big thing. You know, lots of solar panels. You know, finding every kind of way that we can utilize renewable energy resources. And then after that, it was going to be more so a focus on the bringing everyone together. I feel like the closer you bring people physically, you know, you have more of an opportunity for people to get to know one another. You know, this might sound weird. Tell me what you think about this. In my city, all churches, mosques, you know, every form of organized religion are all going to be in the same spot. All of them.
Why?
Well, I feel like in my city, I think it'd be important to bring all religions together. And I feel like the closer they get, you know, and they see, you know, these are just normal people, you know, they're just like you and me, the less hatred they'll have, maybe even more understanding. You know, there's a lot of people that don't know much about Jews or Muslims. You know, we live in the U.S., so everyone's religious, and then you ask them,
Oh my.
then you ask them, you know, how many religions have you studied? What do you know about this religion? They're like, I don't know anything about any of it. I just read the Bible, I'm Christian, I'm religious. A lot of them don't know. They couldn't tell you anything about other religions. But if you bring them closer, maybe they'll learn something new.
Do any of your cities share wine? Because it's time to switch up some wine.
Switch it up.
How to switch up some wine? Okay.
Yes, our
Definitely a
cities-
vineyard in our
Oh yeah.
Let's share the
city. I
grapes.
forgot she was over there.
Let's share the grapes.
I'm still here. I'm still staying.
All right, so we'll let you pour that, and then we'll switch.
Okay.
Switch it up.
All right, left. Let's go. I have a feeling I'm gonna like this.
Oh, yours smells good.
Oh. Wow, that first initial sip of this 1,000 Stories packs a lot of punch. I don't know if I've said this before, but I really think that wine pairs with wine. You know what I mean? Like, do you guys ever get
I
that?
think you have said that before.
It's so true. I think this is a
when
great
you-
pair.
mhm. Wow. Okay. Cool.
Mhm.
I really like yours.
I think it was a very accurate description of what you said about this wine as well.
Yeah.
They're very similar, but yeah, they're also. I'm sorry. I was about to say something dumb. They're very similar, but they're very different. I was going to say that means nothing, but continue.
Yours is very smoky. I mean, yours has such good flavor.
I'm totally digging that. Yeah. And this is your rosé. Okay.
Mhm.
Normally I don't like rosés, but we'll see.
Mhm.
Okay.
Yours
Okay.
smells like. This smells like liquor to me.
Good. Oh wait, which one? His?
Yeah.
It's in a bourbon.
It's bourbon
barrel. Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
That's too, man. Is it Merlot?
It's a cab.
It's got. It's like you love the most non-flavor having wines, dude.
That's so,
It's funny.
There's-
I
there's
like
lots of flavor in
it. It's smoky.
I know.
It's-
It's good. but
Most
it's-
of his wine tastes like oysters.
Really?
Yeah.
I like your wines though. I guess I just like
You like
cheap
sweeter
wines.
stuff,
That's
yeah.
what it is. Yeah. I need a good balance though. Like this was straight.
I could drink this one. Like if I was drunk, I ran out of every bit of alcohol. I needed something to drink, and this is the only thing left. I could drink it, which is a great compliment. Because normally with a rosé, I'd be like, "No, I'm good." But this one, I would actually drink.
Give me
So
my-
the fact that I
give
would
me my
drink
wine
it
back.
is
No,
actually pretty good.
dude.
Yours is very similar to his, but his is way more smoky than yours. I think.
I'm welcome back to this one. All right, I'm good.
Okay, so anyways, we're talking about your city is pretty efficient, but you know when you speak about getting people together, there's no better way to do that than music and food festivals.
Mhm.
I mean, everybody loves music, everybody loves food, so a big nice park in the middle of my city with a beautiful view of a nice river with great restaurants around, food trucks, street performers, street artists. I mean, that's one beautiful thing about New Orleans is, I mean, you walk down and you have saxophone players playing, you have children beating on whatever they can make of drums, and it's just so lively, but that's something that brings people together.
Which I think that'd be a great idea to put in the center of all my religious churches and whatnot.
Mm-hmm.
You know, a huge, beautiful park. You know, maybe a jazz festival one weekend or a grilled cheese festival the next weekend. But the only rule is that you don't, you know, you don't really pressure or preach or anything. You know, it's more of a human experience, and that's kind of the rules that everyone knows going into this. This is a safe space. You know what I mean? Regardless of your religious background, when you walk in there, this is a safe place. So there'll be playgrounds and kids can get to know each other and hang out, and you know they can fly kites or kumbaya, whatever it is. But I think having an opportunity where different religious people from different religions can all mix together harmoniously would be very key to my city.
Okay.
I think it's a good idea. Do you think?
Yeah, I think your city sounds great.
I have a lot of faith in.
I think it's
I
naive.
think
I think it's
yours-
naive. I think it's naive though.
I am.
Yours is built on integration. Mine is almost like separation because I understand human nature. Yo.
Yeah.
It's like you can't. Religion doesn't go with humanity. Religion is transcendent of humanity. It's particular to each individual. So that means like it's faith based. You can't mix people in to a certain extent and think that they can hang out at the festival and at the same time be like, I'm a Jesus. I love Jesus. It don't like. I promise you, something's gonna. So it's almost like. With that understanding, mine's just based in, you know what? Let me have grace. The core of my city is just going to be built based in the understanding that we all have faith. Like it's literally going to be half the day is prayer, and the other half is just like graceful like existence, which are and literally no clothes. I know this sounds crazy.
Why would anyone want? Do people choose to live there, or do you kind of like mandate them? Like,
Do
they
we not
reach a certain
have
age?
Mormons and Amish people today? It's like it's also clinical, brother.
Yeah.
Yes, they would. It's because
Is
it's
it
a
a
space.
choice? Is my question. Can I
Yeah,
can I live in
yeah.
infinity? Be like, you know what? Feel like taking my clothes off and going to Grace. You know, and just like dip out.
Yeah.
Okay.
Most people wouldn't though. That's the point. Like most people wouldn't, man. Like
But I thought you said that people who are accused of capital punishment would live in infinity. But who else lives in
no,
infinity?
not accused of capital punishment. Like if you screw up in infinity, you die. That's how I look at it. It's like
Oh, okay, I see. what
yeah,
you're saying.
yeah. Because you've had your time to be like infinity is supposed to represent the extreme of what it means to be human, whereas grace
Yeah.
represents the extreme of being a believer. You know what I mean? It's like that's it. It's something greater than us. They all just like I'm serious. Yo, walk around, no clothes, just happy to be alive. Like that's how it works. I didn't think this out much. But it's
Consider
like,
laws in your city? Did you think about laws?
I didn't really think about laws, but might be. I don't know if I should.
Say it.
That's a
Talk
point,
Why
though.
not? What's
How
up?
is somebody not though? Like because
I
you
thought
can't-
about it in mine
yeah.
as well. Yeah.
So I guess for laws for mine, it would kind of be. I hate to say it, but it's almost like I would want things to be situational based. But I do believe, kind of eye for an eye. I know that's very old and But I do.
But effective.
It's very
will
effective.
always be.
It's
I promise you, yeah.
very effective.
You agree with her, right?
Well, to a certain extent, but yeah, for the
That's
most part.
why I said things are situational. It's like I wouldn't, there's just situations where it's like, okay, we should go to trial. We should really judge this in a fair way. And I do believe in that, and there would be fair trials, but I do kind of like the idea of, especially in a population where
What's
it's
the name of it? Ra's al Ghul had the greatest quote in the Batman Beginnings. He said, "This criminals take advantage of society's non-understanding of how the criminal acts, or something like that." It's like, I'm sorry, man. There are some things in life you should just die for. Some people are beyond. Some people are beyond retribution. They're beyond. You can't. There's certain things you can't cure.
yeah.
Like straight up, man. Like
think-
people like sex offenders and things of that nature, yo.
I think
There's no there's no like they gotta go, man. Like
I'm not saying you're wrong, but I think there are fewer people that fall into that category than what we think.
I'd agree, and I'd also say it's a 2-part dynamics where you also got to. That's all like. It is nature versus nurture, but we can't even look to the nurture until we've actually. I'm sorry, we can't look to the nature until we've actually perfected the nurture. Society has so much development
Which
to do.
is the whole reason why we should talk about our cities. How we view our cities, how we view the city that we live in now versus our hypothetical. I think it's a reflection of what we see in society.
Yeah. I
So,
agree.
For me, with my laws, I consider breaking my city up into different sectors. So let's say 4 equal, parts of my city. Certain laws would be different in each one, and you guys know me. I'm a binary thinker. So we would literally go through the data of the law here versus the law here versus, like, for example, what's the law that we have here in Georgia? Drunk driving. So let's say in Georgia, it's the legal limit or over the legal limit is 0.08, yeah, and that would be the case in one part of the country or one part of the city. The other city would be like, oh, the other part, it's 0.1. The other one, it's 0.2, and then the other one, like there is no limit. You know what I mean? And then after X amount of years of these laws going on, we look at the data and see which law works best and why. And then that will become city law, and then we have other laws that we experiment with. We find the right balance of what works best for everyone by trying different things out at once.
Okay.
That makes sense, bro. That makes sense. Yeah.
I always thought that, why don't we ever make a city, like an experimental city, where we could test out things, just like a little geodome city out in the desert, where they just throw people in, and then you live there, and you live, I don't know, they say murder is legal, sure, whatever. Then they just, scientists just sit back and, okay, here's what happened, and like, okay, this is not a good idea. Scratch that.
Here's what I would theorize though. I think because when you're dealing with a limited body sample, it's different. Like experiment is only so much, but once it has to the greater and greater that the said experiment. Think about it. Like even this country is somewhat of an experiment. If you really want to be real about it, it's like different. People are constantly all types of different things being tested out. At the end of the day, you're still dealing with human nature. And that's why I say, all right, so you need something I always try to ascribe to a greater wisdom. I'm big into wisdom, bro. That's so important, man. Because, data can only tell you so much. People are still going to act in different ways, in various ways over long distances. It's like you're always going to be trying to catch up until you realize you have to become conclusive about just how people act in any given situation. You might be wrong sometimes. It's okay, man. That's life, dude. But you got to just know what you believe in, what you stand for. Belief and faith.
Data will give you that. It's a chicken and egg, With all the human action, it instantly equals data. And if you have all of it, then you have a good idea what's about to happen.
Yeah.
So.
But I will say with my laws in my city, why I think they're better than, even when you look in history, now when I was a criminology major, of course, they debunked the whole eye for an eye deal and, that's too harsh, but let me tell you, take Dubai for instance, where they, still use the guillotine.
Like right now?
Yeah.
Current?
Yeah. They use
Like
the
they
ghillie
like
suit.
this.
Like we'll chop your head off. Yeah.
My father's.
Yeah. No, they will.
Sorry. I'm
Look, we can fact check it if you don't believe me, but I swear so it's a big deal. It's like they're very strict about drugs. You
Yeah.
get caught with drugs, it's over with. I mean, I do believe, no, I'm not quite sure on this, but I do believe that one of the punishments for drugs is either death or like something close to it where it's like long exile, but it's so severe that, but when you look at the crime rates in Dubai, or like, you know, the rates of incarceration, pretty low. So
That's true, but then you can look at somewhere like Japan, where the number one, if I'm not mistaken, the number one crime in Japan is pickpocketing. So they have a very low crime rate. They have the system in place for it's like a lost and found for everything, and so if someone leaves a purse, leaves a wallet, it gets turned in and returned to the actual owner with like, and most times, no money missing whatsoever. You know, they return like 3 billion yen or 6 billion yen. I forget the number, but it's an outrageous amount of money get returned to the owners of people who've lost purses and wallets. And their system isn't extreme, like we're going to cut your head off in a guillotine. You know what I mean? So I just feel like there are other ways to achieve the same thing. Though Dubai, they may have a low crime rate, you know, low drug rate. You know, you can go about it that way. Sort of like we were talking about with banking, you know? Full circle here.
that
Full
is
circle.
full circle. Japan too, I think they have a really incredible culture as well. So
Yeah.
Bingo. Japanese they're not extreme internally, they're way more so externally, bro. Like they can kind of afford to be that way. You got to think about it here, or rather, in a lot of the Western societies are more like integrated. It's different. Like Japan, they so isolated. They don't like. They know how to deal with each other. Like that's a strong ass culture, bro. Like
Yeah.
over here, like people like we have all types of crimes, bro. Like it's weird.
oh
When
yeah.
people get away, they'll do anything like to fucking break it, like to not abide by the law, yo.
I just thought of something. As we're talking about cities that we would hypothetically build, is there a city that you admire, a city that you would want to travel to?
Japan.
Okay, how about a city?
My fault, country. Bugging.
Well, Tokyo is that?
That's my number one.
Me too. Yeah.
I used to, when I was growing up, Japan was my number one place to go. I don't even know why.
I think it's a better country. I mean, from what I've seen, I've never been. I want to go find out, is it a better country? I don't think we're number one. I think Japan is probably number one.
Maybe. I wouldn't be surprised. I think, like I've already said, I love New Orleans. It's my favorite city.
She love her some culture, yeah.
I love New Orleans.
So I'm gonna go to Tokyo, New Orleans, and are you going to Tokyo as well?
Tokyo, yeah.
But well, you know,
That was
I've
actually
been
if
in
I
New
could visit
Orleans.
one, that it'd be there. And the cool thing about that, even within, so if I'm correct, I might be mistaken, but so you got Tokyo, you have like the actual like the metro, but then outside of that, it gets way more rural. They have the temples, the whole. So that's what I'm saying. Like I want to experience the whole Japanese like, experience.
I'm
man.
changing my city. I want to visit Dubai. 'Cause
Oh yes.
the aesthetics of
Yeah.
like, I mean, how they have that whole entire city built, phenomenal.
I think that Dubai is right up there as far as like technology with Japan, as far as like
Mhm.
being on the cutting edge of the future.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh, that's a very rich.
I'll look into that.
Yeah.
Mm.
All right. Well, any final thoughts that we have?
Yeah, let's wrap up our city in one sentence to get someone to come visit your city, or describe your city in the fewest words possible.
Huh. That's difficult. I'm not that good of a salesperson. I don't.
You have Grace.
What's your brochure say to come to my city? I think
I would have
Yeah.
to think of the name of my city first. Actually.
I don't think mine even needs a name.
yeah, it's so good. People will name it for you. You just gotta.
Oh, it's so good.
Yeah.
All right. So good. Name it for me. That would be on the brochure.
There it is. Go
Okay. From my city, I would say this is where you want to live if value efficiency, clean energy, and human connection. What about you, KG? What'd you say? You want to get naked?
I was gonna say,
You wanna get naked?
Yours sounds real fun, Jerry. Now throw it in. Good kid.
Well, no, I don't. I'm not gonna sell it. It's just I think mine's just kind of. It's just life, bro. It's like grace, life, and infinity, dude. Like within those parameters, bro, is like literally existence, man. Like it's just me trying to find a way to actually create that, dude. I don't get caught up in nationalism, politics, any of that stuff, bro. I've lived long enough to understand like people just need to be able to be the best and worst of themselves. So my city was supposed to at least embody that. It would be called. I don't know, bro. Actually,
We should have thought
That's a thick
about.
brochure, man.
Yeah.
That's a real thick brochure.
is
We
it?
gotta-
Oh,
we gotta
okay.
slim it down a little bit.
Come to the truth. Come to the light.
truth.
Go,
Yeah.
okay, I like
Come to
that.
the truth.
Come get naked in the tree.
All right. Well, I feel like it's a pretty good episode. So I'll cheers to that.
Cheers
Alright.
to our nameless cities.
Wine and Nine. Be sure to like and subscribe. We appreciate everybody.
For those who actually prefer to listen to podcasts over watching it, how do they find it, KG?
We're currently on Podbean. All episodes. You can go and download right now.
They can also stream it, right?
Yes.
I didn't know you could download it. That's pretty dope.
Yeah.
Yeah, because it's an app, right?
Mhm.
Yeah, it's an app.
Oh, you download the app or download the episodes?
Both.
Oh,
Yeah.
cool.
It has it. Yeah, it's got the stats. It's like I think we have like a few downloads. So hopefully we'll have more after this. Yeah.
All right.
Nice.
Excellent.
All right. Good stuff.
Good stuff.